Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. Tonight, we're diving into a surprising and, frankly, unsettling development in Halas Hall. A veteran leader, once untouchable, now finds himself squarely in the crosshairs of roster cuts after the 2025 NFL Draft. You know the feeling when you draft a blue-chip prospect in the first round. Instant buzz, dreams of the future, optimism everywhere. But what does that mean for the dependable veteran who's carried the load for years? Stay with us, because as we peel back the layers, the answers get darker and more complex. Just days after General Manager Ryan Poles stunned the league by selecting Michigan's Colston Loveland at number 10 overall, an earmark of high receiving upside, the ripple effects are already rippling through the tight end room. Remember, Cole Kmet wasn't just any tight end. He emerged as a locker room voice, a reliable chain mover, and the architect of countless red zone touchdowns. His 4-year, $50 million extension felt like a long-term commitment to stability. And yet, here we are. Whispers around the facility suggest Kmet might be the most expendable Bear this offseason. How did we get from contract celebrations to most dispensable in barely a week? Let's rewind. When the Bears double-dipped at tight end, taking Loveland in round 1 and then adding Luther Burden III in round 2, the message was crystal clear. This offense is being built for playmakers, and more playmakers. Burden's speed and Loveland's pro-style polish answer different needs, but both threaten to push Kmet down the depth chart. Analysts at Pro Football Network recently labeled him the top-cut candidate, citing his likely fourth-string status in the pecking order, and possibly even fifth if Burden's rookie-year trajectory accelerates. Could Poles really walk away from his own draft investment? Could a salary cap crunch turn a clubhouse pillar into a cap casualty? Now, don't mistake this for sour grapes or uninformed hot takes. This is about maximizing Caleb Williams' weaponry. Ben Johnson's offense thrives on mismatches, pre-snap motion, and explosive play action. With a bevy of wideouts and the rookie Loveland, who profiles as a classic wide tight end in pro sets, why carry two $12 million a year veteran tight ends? A post-June 1st trade would free up a whopping $10 million in cap space, with only $1.6 million in dead money over the next 3 seasons. That's picture-perfect financial engineering for a team right up against its limit. And with 3 years of team control still on Kmet's deal, he'd fetch real value on the trade market. Here's where the plot thickens. Sources around Halas Hall tell us that behind closed doors, the Bears' decision-makers are poring over Kmet's 2024 film with a fine-tooth comb. In most years, his 65 catches for 712 yards and 3 touchdowns would rank him among the league's more reliable YNs. Scouts praise his route-running savvy and secondary blocking prowess. But with Loveland's pro-style pedigree and Burden's explosive downfield ability, Chicago's evaluators are asking, does Kmet still represent an upward trajectory, or has he plateaued? Could a player whose best days might be behind him really command the roster spot that could instead go to a rookie on a 4th-round salary? From a schematic standpoint, the Bears intend to lean into more 11 personnel. 1 back, 1 tight end. This season, maximizing mismatches in the red zone and spreading defenses thin. That often leaves the veteran as a chess piece rather than a cornerstone. While Kmet's underrated blocking was pivotal in short yardage situations, his snap count dipped late last year once 3rd-down passing sets were implemented more frequently. In other words, there already existed a blueprint for playing without him. Does that not foreshadow the ultimate decision to move on? Financially, cutting or trading Kmet aligns with Ryan Poles' penchant for resource allocation. Remember, Poles traded up last year for Darrell Taylor and dealt for Montez Sweat midseason, moves that required both creativity and cap math. Freeing up $10 million doesn't just rescue cap flexibility, It funds potential additions at edge rusher, safety, or even a mid-tier free agent quarterback. The ripple effect of shedding Kmet's contract could be the difference between chasing a marquee splash and treading water under the salary cap. Could Chicago's front office view this as their only path to build a true contender around Caleb Williams? On the flip side, consider the human element. Kmet's locker room presence has been credited with fostering cohesion among a young roster. Teammates admired his professionalism, his willingness to mentor rookies, and his down-to-earth leadership. Letting go of that intangible glue guy role risks affecting team chemistry, especially in a rookie-laden receiving corps. Is Poles willing to sacrifice that cultural cornerstone for financial gain? Some Bears insiders whisper that Johnson's new coaching staff sees value in an established leader to guide first-year pros through the inevitable growing pains. Could the backlash from within the building force the front office to reconsider? Then, there's the trade market speculation. If Poles truly intends to move Kmet, he won't simply cut him. The veteran tight end's blend of youth, 26 years old, playoff experience, and affordable contract makes him a coveted asset. Teams like the Miami Dolphins, Houston Texans, or Las Vegas Raiders, sitting in need of tight end help, could be in the mix. A mid-round pick or two could be had. Rumors have surfaced that Poles' phone has already buzzed with trade inquiries, probing whether a swap of Kmet for a 2026 fourth-rounder plus a conditional 2027 pick might satisfy both sides. Could he engineer a deal that restocks Chicago's war chest while allowing Kmet to thrive in a new home? Amid all this chessboard maneuvering, Bears fans find themselves torn. On one hand, you empathize with a hometown hero potentially forced out. On the other, you see the logic in reallocating resources toward positions of greater need: edge rush, offensive line depth, and perhaps that elusive veteran presence in the secondary. Every decision is a gamble, and the payoff won't be clear until the season unfolds. But there's no denying that this Bears offseason reached its apex with the Loveland pick, and that decision set the dominoes in motion. The question now becomes, will Kmet's career, built on grit and consistency, become collateral damage in Chicago's aggressive rebuild? As training camp approaches and final roster cuts loom, the tension inside Halas Hall will be palpable. Coaches, scouts, and executives will gather to debate Cole's fate. Are his contributions still vital? Or is the future firmly in Loveland's and Burden's hands? One thing is certain: if Kmet does depart, it will mark the end of an era for a player who embodied the old Bears ethos. In his place, a new chapter begins, one defined by draft capital, cap flexibility, and a willingness to rip the bandage off to chase rapid improvement. So where does that leave Cole? He's earned the right to a soft landing. He's part of this city's football mythology, a kid from Naperville who thrived in Chicago's spotlight. But the NFL is a cold-blooded business at its peak. Suddenly, that leadership role, that dependable hands-catching, that crucial blocking and blowouts, it may not be enough to outweigh the upside of first-round picks on rookie deals. In the coming days, expect internal meetings where coaches break down every snap Kmet played last year, slot by slot, looking for justification, or the lack thereof. This is the high-stakes, pulse-pounding chess match that defines roster cutdowns. Stay tuned, because in just a little while, we'll reveal how this saga might conclude, and where Kmet could end up if the Bears really pull the trigger. But first, let's examine the numbers, the cap realities, and the locker room dynamics that have turned Cole Kmet from cornerstone to question mark. Bear down